Say goodbye to yesterday. I don't know where to go. It's going to lead. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If we get to see tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the wait. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Welcome, We-On-Loc Nation channel. Who that was? That was the late, sad, but 19-year-old Sade Robinson, who was unalived in this just torn apart by a white supremacist named Maxwell uh, Anderson, which is on trial right now. Um, I thought it'd be honorable to do this in her name. So just in case YouTube has an issue with this, this is for fair use purposes and fair use purposes only. Um, give a shout out to the mother, Mrs. Starborough, and the father, Mr. Robinson, and she will be greatly missed. And I just thought I'd just put that out there because I did say a long time ago that I was going to um, constantly stay on this until the trial happens in 9 months later. Here we are, close to a year, and it's not looking good for this dear poor man. But we've covered it. There's other people who covered it, and I want to say congratulations to the people who have covered this and have not strayed far. This is a very sad situation, and I hope her mother, as well as her father, recovers from this. Now, with that being said, um, I want to start off with something that I have no idea. I need people to help me on this. I need to help people to help me when it comes to these goddamn politics. I really need people to help me on these things. Um, when it comes to Jasmine Crockett, why does everybody get offended every time she opens her mouth? I mean, she's always been labeled ghetto. She's always been not fit for the government, not fit for this, not fit for that. Please, I need to know why it is people have a problem with this woman. If you have a problem with her, then you must have a problem with living, obviously. So I'm gonna try to go through this, and if people come in the comment section and want to help me review this thing, or have a comment, or want to come up and say that she's trash or she's good for the country, please do so, because I'm trying to understand where you people are coming from. I've done plenty of shorts about Mrs. Crockett because I think she can be a good lead for the people. Obviously, so of course I'm gonna ignore the people who absolutely say, I wouldn't follow a woman." Yes, the fuck you would. Yes, you would. If the woman would have given you $100, you would have followed her. If the woman would have given you $100, you would have followed her. If the woman would have given you $100,000, you would have followed her. I don't want to follow somebody who I want to punch. You don't want to follow anybody you want to punch. You could punch. You don't want to follow nobody that you can punch, kick, slap around. We live in a weird ass society. We live in a society right now where men are the so-called victims and the women are the breadwinners. I don't want to say that's naturally the case, but due to all the complaining that I've been witnessing, especially me coming off the chat on the PEEF, where you got 90% of niggas acquiescing to controlling women all the time, telling them what degrees they should be getting, telling them what they should and should not do. It's overall control, and it's very, very sickening. Sad to me, but without further ado, I just want to for this, and hopefully I get some help with this. And tell me what y'all think.
And they kept saying they lied, they lied. And it was like, no, in the House resolution budget, or the House budget resolution that was passed when y'all.
I want to ask you about the Medicaid cuts because I've asked the Republican members of Congress a lot about this. And what they tell me is the growth of the program was just getting out of control. And they say that they wanted to rein it in because people should work, able-bodied people should be working, and they're just getting the benefits. And they want to focus more on pregnant women, low income, and disabled. So what do you say to that?
I say that they are really good at spinning it. I'm going to diverge for just a second.
All right.
The last time we talked, you asked me about Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. You asked me about SNAP. You asked me about these things.
Absolutely.
And you told me that they said that the Democrats were not telling the truth. Well, here we are. And at least the House version of the bill has these cuts, and now they're having to talk about it. So I say, just go and look at their record for telling the truth or not. They lied before, they're lying now, okay?
So
they
what
said that
they're
there
saying
weren't.
is not true.
It is not true. What it is they have decided that they need to somehow figure out how they are going to bring in some of the spending. And I say it that way, and the reason that I hesitate is because of this. You dealt with three main committees in this bill. Let me just break it down that way. There's a lot of other, we all went through our markups, but there's three main committees. You dealt with Ways and Means that deals with all the taxation, which also is our income. That's where we get our money from, right? So your income tax rate is determined that way. That's how we know how much money we're going to have coming in, okay? Then they dealt with the Agriculture Committee, which is where the SNAP benefits ended up being depleted. And then they dealt with Energy and Commerce, which is where they...
Hold on. So they want to get rid of SNAP too? SNAP is basically food stamps. They want to get rid. So they want to get rid of Medicaid. They want to get rid of They want to get rid of like affordable insurance. That's what they want to get rid of. The term affordable insurance, the affordable insurance, like I guess when pills can go up from anywhere from 10 to like $100 a bottle, that Medicaid cuts it down to sometimes $0. They want to cut that off right to the bat, and they want to get rid of food stamps that most of these people need. Okay, I'm learning.
They dealt with the Medicaid, and they kept saying they lied, they lied. And it was like, no, in the House resolution budget, or the House budget resolution that was passed when y'all were saying it, like the only place you could get the cuts is if you went to Medicaid. They lied and said they're not going to Medicaid. The thing is, they are trying to use that to justify the tax cuts that they have built in for the ultra wealthy. But here's the problem, Jack. They still got to raise the debt because it's not a one-to-one. So just imagine that you make $100,000 a year, right? And you're saying, you know what? I'm going to reduce my income. I don't want to make $100,000 anymore. Let's drop this down to $50,000 a year. But my bills, right? My bills were set out, and they actually probably were still going over that $100,000 a year, right? But now it's like, well, I got to cut it down so it's not so bad. So they decide, you know what? We're going to go ahead and cut down some of our bills, which is what they did. And one of our largest bills is Medicaid. That is absolutely true. So they decided, let us just go ahead and take an axe to Medicaid, okay? So they did that, but here's the problem. They still have bills that are over the 50,000. So they just didn't want to make it seem like it was that bad. So really true fiscal conservative Republicans are like, I can't vote for this because you still want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. So here's the deal. You ended up cutting everybody off their health care. You're cutting people off of access to food. And at the end of the day, you still don't have anything to show for it because you still are like, wait a minute, let's raise the debt ceiling.
So, but I would like to know, if that is the case, then why not just give us another stimulus package? And last time he did that, it was what, $600. $600. I mean, of course, we can use that for food and everything because everything's so high. But screw all that. Why not just give us somewhere around the lines of $3,000 per family? Why not? $3,000, we get our bills. We gonna get the food, get our bills paid, and everything. We good, and we have a little bit left over. If you're gonna cut off Medicare, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever, it's all the same thing to me. You're gonna cut off SNAP. You're gonna cut off food stamps. So things that you're gonna just basically just get rid of welfare. Things that some of these people need. It's bad that you're going to increase the homelessness, damn near, I would say 10%. It's bad enough in my area that you have homeless people. You have way more than enough homeless people downtown Vegas, where I live. Well, I live in the Upper Peninsula, but downtown Vegas, there is nothing but homeless people. But now it's starting to get so bad that you have homeless people living in your backyard. It's starting to get that bad. They have no other place to go, because if they go and get arrested, they gonna sleep for the night, possibly a night or two, and then they're back on the street again. Rule is, we catch you on the bench somewhere, we catch you somewhere that you don't belong, we are going to arrest you. That is the rule. At least they get a good night's sleep. I catch too many homeless people around my way pissing in the street. That's how bad it's going to be, but it's going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse. But is this punishing more black people, or are you punishing white people? Interesting.
So why is it that we're inflicting all this harm? If we're going to raise the debt ceiling anyway, go ahead and let people have health care. But they don't want to do that. And so if they really wanted to be serious about this, we will be having conversations about defense and defense spending. And we would talk about the fact that they are now trying to raise the spending in defense to $1 trillion. Every single budget, we are constantly pushing up the numbers for defense. But you know who can't pass a clean audit? Defense. They have failed the last 7 audits that they've had. Now you tell me, if I keep failing audits and I go to the bank and say, I need more and more and more, you don't give it to me? They're not. But that's what they're doing. And you can go and find more and more of the big dollar items, right? Like right now, they've decided to go after something that they went after the penny candy, right? $6 per person for SNAP benefits, instead of going after that fancy dress that you would go get from Neiman Marcus. That is what they have decided. So they're like, well, let's get all the pennies together.
How much does it cost to go golfing in a particular country club per se? Ain't that like $10,000 to go to an actual country club if you're the president of the United States to go golfing per day? You know, we could use some of that money, right? But hey, who am I? I'm just a regular guy, you know, working a 9 to 5, and you know, I'm not on welfare, but I can sure use the extra money. You know, every contract that expires you have to pay more than $50 to $100 if you live in a certain area. So, in other words, if your contract expires, then they tack on $50 to your rent. Rent is expensive, living wages are expensive. You're trying to turn this country into a third world country. That's what Donald Trump is trying to do. And what for the life of me, what I'm trying to figure out is why doesn't anybody else see this? Even he's losing white supporters, but let me not tell you that.
Together and let's cut a whole bunch of people when you could just say, you know what, you don't get this fancy dress over here. That's what they should do, and that's what defense is.
I was just going to ask you, but this is the first time defense spending has actually gone up. It's been cut under the Biden administration.
It went up for sure. One of the things that we dealt with when we were trying to get the debt ceiling raised before under Biden, but Republicans controlled the House, is in that negotiation, when we were dealing with the debt ceiling, they decided to deal with the budget itself in that moment, which was really conflating the two issues because they were separate. And one of the agreements was we will raise the debt ceiling so long as you raise defense spending, which his budget proposal actually raised it as well. Not as aggressively, for sure. And there was a provision if we didn't meet certain timelines, that there would be these little cuts. We did miss some of those deadlines, so I don't know what the net result ultimately ended up being, but there was an agreement that actually gave them more and gave non-defense less.
How concerned are you that President Trump has, or the White House has said, rescission cuts are coming? In other words, taking spending that Congress already approved previously in previous terms, i.e. the...
How are you?
Okay.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Can you hear me
What's
now?
going on? Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm going to my stepmom's funeral on the 12th at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'll leave it. Yeah.
My condolences, sweetheart. My condolences.
Thank you. So what's up?
You was just going through the motions myself. Trying to figure out this Congress thing. I'm really not too big into politics, and Jasmine Crockett, who I'm reviewing right now, is breaking down step by step what's it going to mean when you're getting rid of Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits, basically welfare.
Well,
what's it going to look like for the country?
You have to ask Trump's bitches what to do with it.
Obviously,
because they all kissing Master's butt right now. So you're not going to hear. You're not going to. The Democrats is trying their best, but they beholden to Massa now. That's all. Unless you get rid of Massa,
I get it. As a kid.
Yeah, let's get rid of Massa, man. He's using y'all, and one of these days,
you know what? And
he'll throw y'all under the bus like everything else he does.
You know what? It's quite interesting. Some white folks feel emboldened now to tell you to shut the hell up anytime they want to now because Trump is in office. Don't you find that interesting? They're mad at us because we're complaining.
Hypnotized by their master. That's all. They got this. You know what? They do. They want to kiss his butt, clean his toilets, press his shoes, and do his laundry. Y'all doing it for Massa now. That's the new Massa. This Massa will snap his fingers like that, and y'all beg and roll over and fetch for Massa.
Uh, how much is it? How much is it to go to a members only golf course now? Ain't it like $100,000 or something?
We ain't got that kind of bread.
But he's going to the golf course though.
Oh
While
yeah,
we're
he
suffering, we're going to the. He's going to the golf course.
you Republican bitches who's beholden to Massa. Y'all's gonna get y'all's reckoning because he's not gonna know none of y'all. And what you gonna say? No, you're gonna be still beholden to Massa now. So there. So yeah.
he should be. He should belong to the R. Kelly crew slash Diddy crew slash whoever. Don't even wait. How do you have 34 counts of whatever and still if granted to be president of the United States? I don't get it. I don't
Yeah, and
get it. It's the
part.
elitists.
Yeah, he said, hey, Diddy, you got a new master now. The master will pardon you, and you'll be one of his hoes.
He did pardon somebody. It's somebody that
Yeah,
we don't know.
the Christies, the Chrisleys, those two white women, white man, white women for tax fraud and everything else. But like I said, if master was, if the kid was black, if anybody, if Trump pardoned a black kid, he will be his slave.
I think he did pardon somebody that was black. I just don't know who. I don't know who he is.
Oh, Larry Hoover, a gang member.
Larry. Oh, I think he was. Oh, okay. So I think he was like a blood or a crip or something. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I,
So listen, uh, then he'll be Trump's slave, and he'll say, "Thank you very much, Massa, for getting me out of jail, Massa. I will owe you for the rest of my life, Massa Trump. Hey, Master Trump, what do you want me to do for you? I will do anything you want because you let me out of jail, Massa. Hey, Massa, listen, I will massage you and suck your little friend for life, Master Trump. Cares.
I did not say that. But
Listen,
you know,
I'm just riled up and everything, so I'll just go and just get on with this stuff with my stepmom and everything. And I like to say to all you master people, listen, he's gonna throw you all on the bus. What y'all gotta say now? And I like to say before I go, in the famous words of Captain Murdoch of Lethal Weapon, I'm going to open this shit and bye, master, bye. Thank you very much.
absolutely, absolutely to the great Tanya. Hammer Time Nation. Hammer Time. Hey, you know what? I might just be emboldened to play some funk music for that woman every time she comes on the show. I might be emboldened to do that, but I gotta get a soundboard. I gotta get a fucking soundboard. But let's keep the party rolling. Keep the party rolling.
Green Energy Inflation Reduction Act monies, they're going to rescind those. They want to take that money back to help pay for presumably the tax cuts. Your thoughts on that?
And I'm obviously against it. You know, here's the deal. I have been talking to my cities and my counties for some time, actually before he swore in. And I knew that this was a possibility because they had been trying to do it. I remember when we were sitting in agriculture and we were trying to get through the farm bill. The farm bill is still is behind. We are on year 3 of being behind right now on the farm bill. I remember sitting in agriculture and they wanted to claw back a lot of the Inflation Reduction Act dollars that came within our purview then. And they were like, oh, well, if we claw this back, then we can do this over here. And I was like, no, it's been passed into law and these programs are working. And so we need to go ahead and do that. So I knew that if they got even one more lever, that would be a goal. So for me, I'm like telling cities, telling counties, pull down on your dollars. If you had an award of some sort, if you think you wanted to apply for it, pull down on it ASAP and spend that money, because, frankly, I don't think that there is very much respect for the Congress as a whole, nor our work. Because we've seen things as us having fights about impoundment, which is basically this idea that we have already come up with budgets and we have already said that these dollars go to this place or that place. And then they just decided, nope, we're not going to do it unilaterally, and really stepping on our territory, right? Because we live in a government, or allegedly live in a government, where we have 3 co-equal branches of government, and we have different responsibilities within those various branches. And so the idea that the executive branch has decided, forget what Congress has done, we're going to do whatever we want to. And then when the judiciary steps in and says, no, you can't do that, they then say, well, forget you, judiciary, we're still going to do whatever we want to do. People should be concerned, regardless of your political affiliation, that we have an executor and an executive branch that has decided that somehow it reigns supreme to the other 2 branches of government, whether we're talking about spending or whether we're talking about court orders. It is a problem. And this isn't about whether or not you agree. This is about whether or not you agree that we live in a democracy where we have 3 co-equal branches of government. And therefore, even when I disagree with the president, I have to respect the actions that he is allowed to take via the Constitution. And unfortunately, we're not getting that same respect in the other branches of government.
But if Congress comes back,
That's the part that I'm having trouble with, I guess. I understand how government works, but of course, maybe I'm not understanding in totality the branches of government, including what they're responsible for. And I wish I had an expert to actually tell me, or to give me an education on something like that, since Lisa has dragged me to do this politic thing. I'm not a politic guy, but it's not the fact that she's a good looking woman that I'm actually putting all of my attentions towards her. No, I just want to know if she's good for the country. And I heard her say later on, I think it's on this clip or it was on a previous clip, that she's not running for office. I don't think she's going to be running for office anytime soon, because she likes the job that she has right now, and that's be a part of the Senate and be a defense lawyer, which she proclaims that it's a lot of responsibility, and you don't get a whole bunch of death threats. Well, everybody gets threatened. Everybody gets threatened. I mean, I've had death threats before, but I see your point. I definitely see your point. It's a big job, big shoes to fill. And I understand, but I was just giving it a chance, she might do some good. Running 4 years in the country, you can be the first African American female to actually run for the country. But I think a lot of black men would have an issue with that. Hell, they had an issue with Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris ain't black.
and the Republicans decide as a block, yeah, we're going to rescind that. We're going to take that away. That's still legit.
Well, I mean, if they decide that they are going to do it and they go through the proper channels, then yeah, it would be legit. I mean, because that's like any other law, right? You can at any point in time overturn any law that you want to if you go through the process. The biggest issue that we've had thus far with this administration is that they don't like processes and they don't want to go through processes. And I don't believe that he necessarily have the votes to overturn some of this legislation.
You recently criticized the long wait times at the Dallas VA.
Yeah.
And then the VA secretary, Doug Collins, replied to you on X and said what you said wasn't true. So talk to us about this.
Yeah, well, he can just go ahead and give me the receipts if that's the case. All I can do is make sure that I am a voice for the people of my district. And if I'm getting phone calls, then I'm going to investigate because that's my job. And as the VA secretary, then his job is to reply to the fact that I actually sent formal investigatory requests, and he needs to answer. I will tell you that if we just decide that we are going to evaluate based on what's on social media, I can tell you that I never anticipated that the Shade Room would pick up on this, but they did. And there were stories, not only from my district, because there were people that were saying thank you to my congresswoman because this has been an issue for me and my loved one at the Dallas VA. But there were people from all over the country that talked about surgeries that have been canceled, and they have been canceled because they said that they did not have adequate personnel. So my deal is, if that's the truth, then prove me wrong. I am here for it. But I will tell you that as a trained litigator, I usually don't ask questions that I don't already have the answer to. So if he's got receipts, I'd love to see them.
All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to relax on that for a little while. I get it a little bit, not a whole lot. I just know there's some shady people on both sides of the spectrum. I'm not a real big fan of just picking sides. I mean, I used to be a Democrat, but now being an independent, you got to show and prove to me that, number one, you can make this place a little bit better than what it was. But due to all the so-called contracts and the consecutive executive signings that Donald Trump is doing right now, it's quite difficult. What is she doing right now? I think she met. Did she meet with Benjamin Crump or something? Let me check it out.
Local leaders gathered in Miami Gardens for the People's Meetup aimed at advancing social justice initiatives. This event was hosted by Florida Senator Chevron Jones. Hundreds of people filed into the Antioch Missionary Baptist Church to hear from prominent leaders like Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and civil rights attorney Ben Crump. This meeting was a call to action for Black people to recognize the power of their voice and vote.
We had incremental progress, but also we have to understand it's a journey to justice. And just like any journey, you're going to have times when you take steps forward, and then you're going to have times when you have a step back. But we must keep our eyes on the prize. And that's what we're here to tell the community today.
Several other organizations partner with Senator Jones for this event with the goal of amplifying voices in order to create.
Oh, all right. That was a whole bunch of nothing going on. But all right, I guess we can move to the next segment. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And let's see. I heard Dr. Umar has went down to a couple of places and had a debate on one end of the spectrum, and then came back here and knocked into some very familiar faces. One of them will happen to be Dave Chappelle. Shouts out to Dave Chappelle. And he also knocked into Talib Kweli. Not bad either. And of course, Mr. Michael Phillips was there. If you don't know who Michael Phillips is, then I suggest you go look him up. I'm not too fond of the guy, but I mean, it is what it is. And some other faces was there, and giving a shout out to the people that were in that area at the Black Expo. I don't know where the Black Expo was at the time. I think it was in Chicago. The Black Expo in Chicago. Then he goes to the good old mighty Britain to do his great debate there. Did a good job over there. Elon Musk, his father. I'm like, damn, he's really at work. Here's what I don't like: the constant jabbing, the constant jabbing at Dr. Umar. People are going to actually do that because they're a bunch of fucking cowards. They would never do it in his fucking face because you know they'll get blasted on. I'm not really worried about that. He's not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Um, Once he gets what he needs done with the school, people keep saying it's a long time. It's a long time to get this. It's like I don't see your black ass up there doing no type of work. One, you're gonna complain about women, and then the next minute you're gonna complain about the school. You're gonna complain about black women. You're gonna complain about the school. It's an oxymoron to do what you do every day. I can literally play clips. Here we're gonna do a 160. I can merely play fucking clips of you just chastising and dude, it's getting old. It is getting really fucking old. How you just you come up on panels and you chastise women every day. I got to really do a 160 on this because enough is enough for me. I mean, you're either going to move on from these women. Either you're going to move on from them, you're going to leave them the hell alone, or you're going to build with them. I don't give a shit who's in charge of what. You're not going to, it's been over, 10 years. You're not going to get them to acquiesce to your bullshit. You're really not. I'll have to give this, you know what? I'll definitely have to give this girl some shine. I'll definitely have to give this girl some shine. And I just want to see I just want to show you how crazy this situation is. How crazy this situation is. Black men said that they're a prize, what have you done? You don't want a woman to have a career. You don't want a woman to be in charge of anything. So what do you want? Oh, you want to be the only. You the one that wants to be the only alpha and omega. The only alpha and omega is God, and you don't even respect that. You don't even respect the supreme being. You don't even respect the supreme being because you don't respect your woman. That's how it goes. A woman is supposed. A woman is supposed to respect his king, and a king is supposed to respect his queen because y'all are falling under the same covenant. It's God, king, queen, and what is in between those? A foundation. I call it the triangle. It ain't God, man, and woman, child, and it's God, man, and woman, and what is coming in between is coming in a foundation, children, a community, a village, infrastructure, shit like that. But y'all ain't convinced, so let's get it. Shout out to this woman, Jessica Simone. Jessica Simone, let's get it. Uh, That's all. I didn't even put that in there. Shit.
Mm-hmm. Why they angry?
The fact that you and John Cannon continue to double down on the clubs.
What women have to say don't matter and never did. Men have been dictating the laws of the land. And you say what women don't say matter, correct?
Yeah.
You don't listen? I'm assuming you don't listen to your woman either.
I don't have a woman.
Oh, I didn't think so.
I don't want one.
I don't blame you.
I could have one if I wanted to, but I don't want
I don't
one at the
believe you.
moment.
I don't blame you, and I don't believe you. I
That's
do
neither here nor
appreciate
there.
knowing that you may not be safe for women and not, putting yourself in that relationship. So I
Yeah, no.
respect that.
Yeah, I would tell them that I don't. That's just not where I'm at right now in my life.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I respect that, and you said that, but why does it that what women say don't matter?
Because the fact and I'm not trying to, but I'm just gonna be real here.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel bad, because I do have women that I care about. But the fact of the matter is, if stuff really hit the fan, like anything, like a race war or a purge, like the fact of the matter, y'all are physically inferior.
Number one, we're already at a race war. Number two, as much pain as we carry, the black man, the black woman alone, how much we carry, it black women can definitely benefit from y'all ain't gonna do shit. Y'all gonna get shit but get destroyed because you can't keep this under control. You can do a lot of this, but not a lot of this. There came a time where you didn't say much to the person that was disrespecting a black woman. You just handle business off key, but all of a sudden now it's a benefit. What can you do for me? What can you do for me? If I can protect you, what can you do for me? Oh, you gonna open up that box? You gonna submit to me? Man, people dudes all they thinking about is if they can control the box, they can control the world. And I hate that terminology, the box. Let's just call it God's earth. If you can control God's earth, then you can control the world, which is not definitively the case.
Mm-hmm. Men have been making the laws. They still making them. Mm-hmm. They making laws on AB telling y'all what y'all can and can't do with your body. Mm-hmm. And as women, what are y'all gonna do about that? How could y'all turn a man's world into a woman's world?
How do you feel about it? Are you okay with that? You like that? Like, do you want women to be in power, or you don't care? Do you want women to suffer, or you don't care?
Y'all not suffering. What y'all suffering from?
You just said that
I don't want nobody to suffer. What are y'all suffering
from? If you're telling me that nothing women say, nothing they say matters, you're suffering from one. You just said that, right?
Yeah.
I heard dude earlier, and he's what I call radicalized by all these red pill rhetorics. The algorithm has taken a dramatic turn. See, that's how the algorithm works. You put these red pill rhetorics, and everybody follows that, and you're being told that a woman will never respect you unless you have a big dick, big wallet, big car, big house, which is not necessarily the case at all. I would say at all. As long as you are stable within your means, as long as you're making enough money to pay rent, pay utilities, put food on the table, have a car. I don't give a fuck if it's a bus pass. If you're able to pay for a fucking bus pass, which is now like $60 or something like that, to go to and from, and unless you have kids now, then you're gonna need like a van or something. But if you're just single and by yourself, then why wouldn't a bus pass? What would that? Why would that bother? I know plenty of men and women who ride the bus.
So that means they're not. That means that their needs are not being met because nobody's hearing them, right? You're saying that they're invisible. They don't care against them in the AB law. And that is detrimental to women. So I'm saying so they're suffering from that. So how do you feel about that?
I don't feel no type of way because when it comes to things like war, when men have to go over there and fight, y'all don't go over there.
You're lying. First of all, that's not true.
Don't listen. I'm a former service member.
That's not true because I've had former service members come in here and talk about how a woman led his team to combat and brought every last soldier back alive.
That is whoever that one. She is one of.
She is not one. She's not one.
There are no.
Why is it an issue for a woman to lead soldiers in and out of combat? Y'all gotta stop watching movies. Y'all gotta stop watching G.I. Jane and all those other movies. This is real life, and women are trained in the military just like a man would be trained in the military, the same exact fucking way. All right. I was working with a person who was military trained, and she's told me all the stories, some stories that made me want to throw up. I just don't get it, man. Yeah, you making me look bad for real.
You talking to a retired Marine, man. I did infantry 4 years.
So you telling me the other women that are soldiers that are in my life right now,
how many of them these soldiers, these women, so how many of them are infantry team leaders?
Are you?
Put your hands in the chat. No, I was not a team leader. Put your hands in the chat. But I was part of a team. I was a part of a squad.
Was there any women on your team?
No.
Not one.
No, not my team.
But there are women on. Interesting. The primary scenario he brings up in physical conflict is physical conflict and physical combat.
Yes, because that is at the end of the day, things are settled.
I got a question.
That's what matters.
I got a question. When you go,
it don't matter what y'all talking. At the end of the day,
no. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Department of YN, thank you so much for coming back. I have a question. When you go to, fight, when you go to combat, right? Are you guys going out there catching a fade, or are you shooting your? When you go into combat, are you catching a fade, or are you shooting your weapons?
When you go into combat, what do you mean? You shooting your weapons. I never been in combat.
That she can't do her job because she brought everybody back home alive.
Because if they made her a team leader, she deserved that. But what
that means that women can do it. That means that women not only can, but
are not capable.
But they're all capable, then what's the problem? If we're all capable, then what's the problem?
That is a very small percentage. Those are just jobs.
Can we talk about
those are just jobs that y'all don't like to do. That's a very small percentage.
The first female Army Ranger is a Black woman. Not only the first female to compete in the best Ranger competition was a Black woman. Are you fucking serious right now?
How many females?
Are you fucking
How many
serious
female
right now?
soldiers
Are you
lost their
serious
lives
right now?
in
Crayon
combat
eater.
compared to how many
Crayon
men?
eater and ASVAB waiver. Are you fucking
Exactly.
serious right now?
Okay, hold
You're
on.
fucking
Oh yeah,
waiver.
oh yeah,
This right
really
here-
quick.
This right here is
Hold on.
exactly what
1
I'm talking
second. Such, you said that how many women lost their lives compared to men in combat?
compared to the men.
You're trying to say that more men lost their lives in combat, right?
I'm
You're
saying
telling me
it's
that
not
more
even
men.
close.
I know.
It's
So
not even close.
Right. So such, you're telling me more men lost their lives in combat than women, correct?
It's not even close. They draft the boys. They don't.
So I'm asking you a question. Are you answering the question? So you're saying more men lost their lives than women, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
He's really, really radicalized. But to answer the question, there are more males who are drafted in. Some literally volunteer themselves in. There are few women to and fro who are drafted in the military. And there are the most who are unalived at the end of the day, the ones who suffer the most are the men. But you can't equate that with women because there are very few women who will get drafted in. What?
In combat, yes, it's not.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, you're telling me that women do better when they go.
That's what you got out of that?
Yeah, that's exactly what I got out of that. Because my thing
That's
is,
what you got out of
you
that?
act like they catching a fade when they go out there. Everybody knows how to use. If you know how to use the weapon, if you're being strategic, it's not even about being able to be stronger.
Do you know how to break down a weapon?
No, I do not. But the woman above you does.
Yes, I do.
I was not talking to you.
It don't matter. The woman above you does. She's also.
You don't want a woman to do nothing, dog. The woman gotta cook, clean, and fuck and suck. That's all they gotta do, bro.
So
okay.
She's also a service.
I would break down 50 of them hoes. You could put a whole box full of random parts and I'm gonna fucking figure it out.
Which ones? Name one. Name one that you know how to break down.
Are you serious? M4 50 cal fucking. Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah. So she just said, okay, so she just named one. So what's your point?
Let me keep going.
My point
Let
is,
me keep
most
going.
people don't know how to break down weapons or use them.
I know a lot of women that know how to break down weapons.
Yes, a lot, but most. I said most don't.
Your
Most
first primary MOS is 11
You just
Bravo.
look, the host. You
Your
just
first
told me that you
primary
don't know
MOS
how
is
to break
11
down.
Bravo. As a soldier, no matter what fucking MOS you carry, your first primary MOS is 11 Bravo. You're supposed to know how to maintain a weapon, break it down, put it back together.
Yes, that is true, but a lot. Yes, that is.
What
Yes,
the
you're
fuck
going
are
to
you
learn that, but that
What
don't
the
mean
fuck are
that
you
you're going. That
saying?
doesn't mean that you're going over there.
Wait a minute. Now you're gonna hop on to another person. You're gonna hop on from one thing to another First, you can't break down a weapon. She just described it to you. That doesn't mean you're going over there. I'll tell you this, but I'll tell you this much. Only for real. If I was against women, I'd be having like 60, 70 people in the live chat, right? But it's cool. It's okay. I'm comfortable in my skin, and I'm also comfortable where I'm at. I'm comfortable. I am never going to be for anyone or going to be against anyone who can protect themselves, let alone been in the military for a certain amount of years, who has been ranked a higher rank sergeant, corporal, marshal, whatever, and has graduated from the military with honors, male or female, I will never disrespect that. Male or female. You say that you would rather get saved by a man, but what if a woman were in your presence? Would you just die right there like a dumbass? You stupid. Half of you motherfuckers is stupid.
Not only that, but
Just
even if
because
you're
you
non-combative
that don't mean
MOS,
nothing.
even if
Okay.
you're non-combative MOS, even if you're
And I have a point. I don't know if my madness while I'm going over this, but anyway.
What's your MOS? What's your MOS, sir?
Who, me?
No.
I was 0311. 0311 infantry.
But you said you never been in combat, right?
No.
How long did you serve?
So you never been over there.
I want to ask the part this: if it
Why
was
you get out?
War,
DOR.
2020. I went in.
No, I said why you
right?
get out?
DOR.
I ain't want to be in there no more.
I know, because you was scared, boy. You was scared, boy. You said, "Well, I gotta get up out here. It's getting real here. They might send me off the war."
You was scared.
How you gonna say I'm scared?
But you got women. You got women who.
You was DOR. You was discharged from the military. I know it.
Still in this bitch though. You got women still in this bitch doing the damn thing. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Some of women can't do this. You can't. You can't.
Was not scared.
fuck?
She's still in.
What are you talking about?
And then went to the Sergeant
4
Major's
years.
Academy and got fucking honor grad.
I had other things I wanted to do with my life.
I bet.
Cookie. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right,
I
pussy.
bet.
All right, pussy.
That was just a step. That was just a stepping stone.
I bet.
You couldn't even
I
do the
bet.
whole fucking
What are the
20
numbers?
years?
What are the numbers of men?
Oh my god!
What are the numbers of men in infantry?
You're a Mitch. You're a Mitch.
I mean, listen, name calling not gonna change the reality.
No, you know what? I think you should just let it when it comes to
name calling not gonna change the reality.
the name calling is not gonna change the fact that you couldn't do it, so you think that women can't do it. You wouldn't even know. You weren't in there long enough to figure it out. You didn't even go to combat. You can't even go. You didn't go to combat. I don't blame you for getting out.
You're a pussy.
I don't blame you for getting out because it's not for the weak. I don't blame you for getting out. Even our president is a draft dodger. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. It's okay.
Y'all don't want.
It's okay. But what I'm saying to you is,
there was a gender,
don't shit on other women.
Need you.
But
I'm
this is what I'm saying. One
It
second.
don't matter about you.
Such, hey y'all, one second. Don't. My thing is, let's have a conversation
It don't
about.
matter about you.
Hold on, listen.
You
One second. My thing is, I don't blame you because it's not for the weak. Our own president is a draft dodger, right? Hold on 1 second. My thing is, let's not even bring up the military. We don't need to shit on other women because you weren't able to.
Yeah, that was just
so
one.
I think I don't think you should even bring that up. You talk about most women not being able to break down. You got two women. What are the odds of you having two women, one do and one don't? That's not even most. That's not even most already. What I'm telling you that is your logic that most don't know how to break down a weapon is already flawed. Because you run into two women, one do and one don't. So that's not.
All right. Basically, you're gonna argue all day long, and then of course, the real man comes up there and teaches him the game, and he did. And the guy, I don't know who they are, but the guy says something profound. He said, even Malcolm El Shabazz X even said that the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. Hell, I should have played that right along with the Sade Robinson song. I should have played that right along. Because the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. She can't do anything that a man would tell her, and the proof is in the pudding. If I put it up, but we're following certain algorithms. That's all that is. We're just following certain algorithms. That's all. That's all. I mean, no need to explain even further what we're doing. We're just a bunch of data babies. A bunch of data babies, including the ones that are there in your chats, who basically fill up your chat rooms 200 to 300 a person. But if anything positive comes along, then that's not being promoted. It's never being promoted. Let's see. Maybe I can.
It's not even accurate, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's
but
what I'm saying. So let's just leave the military out. Let's leave down breaking down weapons out of it. Let's leave that out. Let's leave that out. Because that doesn't even matter. So why do you feel like black males don't protect black women?
Man, honestly, you not on us because we some cowards.
Can I get some W's for such in the chat?
We
Can I get some W for such? I agree. I agree.
We ain't even protecting our damn self. So how we gonna protect our women? We ain't even protecting ourselves from the white men.
I agree.
How are we gonna demand respect from women and we are conquered by another group of men? We cowards. We ain't got our get back yet. You got men in jail, all domestic violence, beating on women, but we ain't got our get back at who is conquering the world right now. Moors used to run the world before they was overthrown.
So do you think that black men are committing domestic violence towards black women at a higher rate because they feel like they can't get back at this other group of people?
It could be that. It could be the poverty. It could be because we deep down we kind of don't like ourselves. It could be past trauma. It could be, it's all type of things. But I do want to point out that these things are in fact systematically set up. And if we don't come together as men and do something about that, we can't protect nobody.
I do agree that this started with systemic racism and Jim Crowism and basically Willie Lynch. If people don't believe in stuff like that, especially in this generation, because they don't read, and even if they do, they read and they want data. They want data on this. They want data on that. Not everything is Googleable, or not everything that is Googleable is actual facts. People, you need to get the hard copies. You need to get the hard copies, the books. Woo! The books, the actual books to actually read these type of things. They're available, but they won't be available for very long, because that's the one thing you don't do is you don't take your kids, especially yourself, to the libraries to retrieve these books. And they figured you don't need them. So what do? They put them all the way in the back and put the unnecessary books for you to search and read or whatever. But this library pretty soon is going to be obsolete, because everything's Googleable now. Everybody's on ebook, right? You can just go on ebook and research these things, but it's not going to tell you the whole God-given truth. It's just not. Stop depending on AI for everything.
We can't.
But to his point, I do believe this all started due to traumatization with the Willie Lynch and Jim Crowism, but often people would say I even heard this from a person that if it wasn't for Jim Crow, right, the families would never be together if it wasn't for Jim Crow. Paraphrasing, that there was There was more black families, black traditional patriarchy families, you know, that whole thing under Jim Crowism, but we were being hung on a whim. We were being sacrificed under Jim Crow. You actually want to go back to that? No, thank you.
Ain't ask for respect from nobody.
I agree. I agree. Because this conversation is one for us to get to the truth of it, right? And if we're talking about these type of things, so how do we change things? How do we move forward? How do we, step out of how do men become brave? How do you be brave? How do you stand up for the things that are oppressing you?
The first thing we need to do is we need to get control of these little boys out here thinking they tough, running around with these guns. We killing each other. That's the first thing we need to do.
Weapons. Say weapons for TikTok.
Yeah, weapons.
Q.
And unallowed, I'm sorry, unalive. We need to get that first because that is ridiculous and it's ignorant. Our culture is not all bad, but a lot of it is unnecessary. And the second thing, black man, we need to stop worrying about the women so much. It ain't about that. It's just not. We need to worry about ourselves, and we need to be willing to die just like that white man is. And a lot of us just it's not. We so focused on trying to get acceptance from our women, and that's just never going to happen because we're at the bottom.
What? This nigga is all over the place. But I will say, I mean, he got it in all scattered order. But I will say the first thing is called self-reliance. You got to get in where you got to fit in. If you got to go to job and you got to save up money to be independent, it's all about building infrastructure for you and your family to live, building infrastructure for you and your family so that your kids can develop, your kids can have what you've been, white folks literally have been stealing from you for quite some time, and that's generational wealth. That's where it starts at. Building infrastructure for yourself. I don't have to tell you, I wish this would have never came out of my mouth. But at this particular point in time, it's not even about the white man anymore. It's about ourselves. We all know what the white man is capable of. We all know it. We all know through the history. We all know about the history in the times where people would actually do bodily harm to you because you were successful back then. It's time to reshape. It's time to reform. I do agree with that. But if we can't do that if we can't build with our women, it is pointless. It is pointless at this point. We have to reformulate black love. We have to do it because without our women, it is pointless to even do anything. Because the woman stood by you when you were hurt, when you were down and out, when you were wounded, when you came home wounded, when you had just two legs and one arm, when you had two arms and no legs, the woman was still supporting you. Now you're beating them half to death, and you're trying to you're trying to discipline these women for having them do something that was in the 1700s, all the way to the 1800s. You're trying to relive that life. You're trying to relive patriarchy, the patriarchy years. That's only for white folks to deal with. That the patriarchy was built and designed for white folks to control their women, especially when they went to war. And when they finally went to war, Who took control of the infrastructures in? Their women. Their women. And as soon as they came home, they brought control of that, and the women was like, I can do this all by myself. I might as well be independent. And there's nothing wrong with being independent. You have to prove it to yourself as a black man in this country that you can, number one, do it all by yourself. Build it and they will follow you. You ever heard of that expression, build it and they will come? Just like when Jackie Robinson was in the Negro Leagues and they followed him all the way into the big leagues. When he joined the Dodgers, they followed him to victory. Even though I would say he could have just built the Negro Leagues onto there. It is what it is.
And I got two things to say. Because I feel like you can get acceptance from your women, from black women.
Not as a whole, no, we can't.
But I think that's a whole nother subject, which I would like to touch on. But what makes you think that white men are dying for their cause? Because you have the president who wouldn't even die for this country.
Oh, listen,
Hey Kiara, happy belated birthday, beautiful. I know I said it already, but go ahead, sir.
Yes. There are still active KKK members. They willing to die about what they believe in. Yes, they are. Just because they may not come out and say it, trust me, them people in that White House, they willing to die behind that system that they put in place. Yes, they are.
What makes you think that?
Yes, they are.
When's the last time you see him actually do it?
That's because we ain't applied no pressure.
So how do you know that they'll die for it? Because it's the thing, they're cowards, right? Because if you can't even show your face when you out to do your crime and talk about what you believe in, you're a coward. Mm-hmm. You're not even saying it with your face. How do you know they're willing to die for it? They'll vote for it because what I have seen when the pressure is applied, it's like no, I was just kidding. That's not what I meant. It's not really like that.
No, they've been doing it. They cowards, but they organize cowards. That's what the police.
But that don't mean they'll die for it. I would have to disagree.
I will say this. He said the one word that not even black folks are doing today, and that's organizing. White people I know couldn't
agree. They want to live more than they want to die.
Everything that they've built, everything that they took from us, you telling me that they are willing to just give it all back?
Anyway, while I was so rudely interrupted, the word organize. White people can be against each other, like yell, argue, and scream. But when it's time to get that power, when it's time for power, money, and resources to be replenished, they're what? Organized. Same thing with the Chinese, same thing with the Indians, same with the Arab, same thing with the Mojo Man, same thing with some of these Hispanics. Yes, Hispanics have their own businesses too. When will we have our own destruction like Chinatown? I wonder. But he's a whole lot of things. But the brother here is so distraught. He did say one thing that black people are not so familiar with because they don't do it, and that's organizing.
Because it is old and it was stolen.
I don't believe they die for it, but I feel like they will unalive other people for it. But I don't feel like they'll die for it. They'll unalive other people.
Power in this world is everything. And if you think that they're not going out without a fight to keep that power where they at and keep the world in their hands like it is, you're crazy. We're men.
But how do you why are we
violent? Naturally.
Who is naturally violent?
Men.
And okay, suppose there's a war going on, right? And all black folks are out of the picture, even the light-skinned ones. They're out the picture, right? Who else are they gonna go after? The Chinese, but the Chinese are they're way too advanced, way too advanced. But here's the thing about it: everyone has a trigger. The United States has a trigger, China has a trigger, Japan has a trigger, Switzerland has a trigger, Europe has a trigger, Russia has a trigger, even Africa, they have triggers. One person pulls a trigger, they're all going to pull triggers. So one ain't gonna function without the other. One ain't gonna argue without the other one arguing back and say, go ahead and try it. They're not going to try you like that. Number one, they need your resource. Mainly us. They need your resources, and they really need your support. But if you think you're going to get support from certain people in Africa, then you're crazy. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to take their farmlands back. That's why I'm trying to say you need people in charge of this thing. But y'all ain't convinced.
And
thank you. Thank you for that too.
Yep. Yes, we are. We are naturally violent. And most things, like it or not, in this world is determined by war. Period. We ain't over there in Africa taking all they
So what do you think that black men are scared of?
Too,
what do you
giving them pennies
you said
for all of their stuff?
You said that they're black men. You feel like they may be some, not black men, but black males, maybe cowards. What do you feel like they're scared of?
I don't necessarily feel like we're scared. It's just we hate each other so much. We so focused on each other and being each other's enemy that we ain't even looking at who is controlling this. That's what this is every day. Black men against black women every day. You wake up on TikTok. This is every day.
Right. I mean, I literally just play videos.
That's because you're feeding into the algorithm. That's what this here app is for. Is to feed into the stereotypical bullshit. Just because you see a rap video by Cardi B, it's supposed to tell you we particularly don't need black men anymore, even though she's a Caribbean or whatever she is. And of course, you feed into the other nonsense that women don't meet men and men are leaving to get, white women because they're more feminine and all that. I don't feed into all that garbage. It's garbage. Each and every single day you feed into the same bullshit that these red pill losers, these wannabe manosphere losers feed into your algorithms every fucking day. But you're the cause of it. I have to say, this is your fault. This is your fault because you are looking for something that'll feed not only your channel, but to feed the algorithm for people to follow you so you can look at this chaos every other day. I don't do this every day. The moment I play an Umar video, y'all get on my ass about it because he's moving forward. He's moving forward with the shit. That's why he ignored. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You know the real reason why, and it wasn't just me. The real reason why Umar ignored all those people in the Umar sector at that time was because of the stereotypical, nonsensical nonsense that they feed into the algorithm each and every single day by talking about each other, doxing one another. That's what they always do. And they still do that to this very day. There were people who were asking Umar for an interview. Umar said, nah, but he took a chance on me. And I'm not pinning flowers. I'm just saying I'm not that raw type guy. Because y'all was talking about y'all was talking about black females then. Y'all was feeding all that. You was feeding into the negativity, the stereotypic, the gender war that was happening back then. That's what y'all were doing. And I wouldn't feed into this shit. But he took a chance on me twice. And now he's practically, he is the most recursive, but this is not about him. But this, for the simple fact that depending on what you feed the algorithm, because this is not our app, this is this white lady's app. I forgot what her name was, but YouTube is owned by, I think, Google, and Google is basically funded by some white lady. I forgot what her name was. But for the simple fact that you alone keep feeding the algorithm all this particular nonsense that a black man is not going to receive respect from a black woman is pure nonsense. If it does happen, it's clearly 0.5%. Clearly. Stop using data and start using the eye test. Get your ass up off the chair and go somewhere. Go to the movies. Go somewhere. And I guarantee you, especially my neck of the woods, that's all you see is black men and black women together as one. Holding hands, happy and smoking spliffies, whatever they doing. Going to Jamaican parties. That's what I see. If you would get up off your ass and start interviewing, but then again, you're going to just feed off. It's just like a parasite. You're just going to, all that negativity that you're so used to, you're going to feed it to somebody else.
Was a black man
this is
talking
day,
about
all
black
day.
women.
When was the last time you got on social media and black men ain't talking about black women not talking about, we hate each other.
Why do you think that?
I'm past trauma. It's down.
We don't hate each other. It's just misunderstanding. A whole misunderstanding. I guarantee you, and we put each other in each and every one of us in one room with a condom. I bet you will be with a condom, and we just before Ronald Reagan, we all start fucking. Y'all start fucking one another, and we'll come together quite nicely. So I'm just kidding.
I went through, passed down to her daughter, passed down to you, passed down. That stuff gets passed down, man.
I agree. I agree. Now, how do we move forward? How do we love each other more? No. How do we love ourselves more? How do black men especially love ourselves? Because let me tell you something that I know, just even being a black woman, how much, black women inherently love black men. Want to do for, want to nurture, because their mothers first. Their mothers are these black men first. And most of them, want the best for them. So they inherently just want to do for them and want to see them win. Now, I know a lot of black women have suffered at the hands of black men.
Yeah.
How can black men hold each other accountable in a way that allows them to treat each other Black women better. I nurtured them, taught them how what to wear, how to count, how to read. Some of them how to stand up and piss.
Well, like I don't blame for I don't blame our women for how they feel, because a lot of it is our fault. Like I said, the first thing we need to do is we need to get to our boys, because that's our future. And a lot of them out there, they this is ignorant out there with the of it. We got to get to the youth first.
What do you contribute in trying to help that? Or do you feel like you're still unpacking your own trauma?
First and
or
foremost,
you even,
before you get to the kids, you got to help yourself first. Because all that drama that you're going through right now, that's past tense. That's why they call it PTSD, not PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder. But the normal word is shell shock. So he's just crashing out because he's seeing something that is increasingly growing, but not enough to get my guns out. Guns. Yes, my First Amendment right would be to say the word guns, because that's what I have is guns. I don't go through all this. I don't change my words up for nobody. Not even you two. Because if Lily Gaddis can say the word nigga, then of course I can say the word guns. Doesn't harm nobody. As long as I'm not threatening anybody, as long as if I'm not showing my gun and it's not loaded, then I can say the word gun. These people are obviously scared of YouTube or something. This is a hobby. They can take this shit away if they want.
Unpack your own trauma.
That's a good question. I've started to unpack it. You know, I'm only one man.
Mm-hmm.
I need all my brothers. I'm only one person. I can't do this on my own. It ain't just about me.
Right, but you got to be the change you want to see. People think that it got to be everybody.
Nah, it starts with a group. It doesn't just start with one person. It starts with a group. You got to get people to agree with your ideologies and the way how you do things. I don't want to say ideology. I said the wrong word. But they have to agree with your plan, your plan that you're putting out. If there's four of you, it's a start. And then the four of you, you go out and you put that plan and you try to make that work for you and your people. And if they get along with it, then you put 4 more people in charge of certain districts that you're in, and let it go on from there. 4 and 8 is 16, is 21, 20, 24, so on and so forth. Or excuse me, 16 is 20, 20 is 24. Now you got a team. Now you got a team of people that you can depend on if they are willing to go with your plan, right? And I don't give a fuck if it's a male or female. They have to go. They have to go with your plan. For example, real quick, if your plan is to, I don't know, clean up the neighborhood or give water to your community, then you have to put into place how much water do we need, how much brooms and shovels and Windex, and how much it's going to cost us. And you got to put the money has to come in. This is just an example. The money has to be there. You cannot be selfish. If you're going to do something, the money has to be involved. We don't trust each other. with $5, but the money has to be there. That's what's called organizing.
If everybody worked on themselves,
Nope.
if
Because you got
everybody
to think.
worked on themselves,
Then it
right?
ain't gonna
If
work.
everybody unpack their own trauma and work on themselves, as a collective, we will be better. We
Yes,
can't keep
but it
looking
has
to
to
you,
be.
you do it. And guess what?
Mhm.
Sometimes you need examples. So if such you're unpacking your own trauma, you're going to your therapy, you're being honest about the things that you've seen, how you felt about it, what you hated and loved. Because I think a lot of parts that things that we can't get over is our parents. We hate them for some of the things that they did, but we also love them, and that can also to be confusing. So I think that if you unpack your trauma and you be honest about the things you are doing, there may be other men or boys around you that see you doing.
It doesn't necessarily have to. You don't have to succeed, or submit to what your parents necessarily have done. I mean, of course, um, I didn't agree with everything my mother did or said to me, nor my father, even though me and my father, we had a short amount of time together because I was very young. But I was very young when I lost my father to brain cancer. Um, but there are others that, I mean, it's not just parents. I mean, you got, of course, you got people in your family, and of course, you got, hell, the wino around the corner. I mean, you give him a pint, he'll teach what problems you got. What you know what I'm saying? Just feed him a pint, and I guarantee you, he'll give you the game. Some pimp, hey, believe it or not, back then, some pimps will definitely give you some game. I think it was Bishop Don Magic Wand. He would definitely give you some game on life. Not how to pick up some hoes or whatever, but he would teach you the actual game of life. You know, a lot of things that are old. They used to say that the old broom knows where the dirt is. I'm gonna buy a new broom, but the old broom, that old rusty broom, knows where the dirt is, and you pick up mostly dirt from that old broom. Rather, you would do it from a new broom. I believe in that. I
Doing
totally
it
believe in that.
and feel like they can do it too. That's why I say you have to be the change you want to see. Because sometimes people we talk, but people need examples of what that look like, examples of you doing the hard work. So if I see you doing the hard work, being honest, maybe even breaking down every now and then, whatever the case may be, whatever your process looks like, and owning it wholeheartedly as a young boy, as a little cousin, as a friend, I might see that and be inspired to do the same thing. That's why.
All right. Like, go ahead and check out this girl, Jessica Simone. Jessica Simone. Shouts out to her. I just subbed to her, and I think she is dope. But now, the reason why I played this is because earlier I was stressing that these dudes, they need a lot of help, and the only way for this world, well, our situation, our community to get better is to get, to get more, get reacquainted with the women. Just get reacquainted with the women, get reacquainted with black love. Because I guarantee you, this keeps up, you're going to lose. You are going to lose your women. I'm saying it right now, fellas. You keep this red pill shit up, this manosphere shit, this talking shit about, you need to acquiesce to my plan and all this other nonsense. If you don't let her be her, you're going to lose. I'm not saying she has to drive. I'm not saying that you have to pick a woman that's, a hoe, but I'm saying you have to treat that woman as she is your woman, a human being. Treat her like a human being, man. Treat her like a damn human being. Stop. You want to marry these women. I know the real reason why you want to marry these women. All you want to do is have sex. That's all you want to do is just have sex with these women. And they see that. That's why they ask questions. But this is silly. This is really, really, really silly. I'll give another example of destruction, and the reason why this cycle, this perpetuous cycle, due to algorithm, is going to keep going and going and going and going and going. I'll I'll show you through this one real quick.
That's against women is because women are trying. Those men are trying to trauma bond by behind being objectified, by being rejected by women, and then more importantly, not being visible to women. So now they don't like women because of the experience they've had with them. The problem with that is that when these women try to use those talking points to attack the red pill, it's really hard for you guys to do that in a manner that doesn't highlight that you are exactly the women that these men are talking about. Because the way we do it is always shaming language, it's always disrespecting, it's always downplaying them. From the same conversation that we had earlier about being a master electrician, it's always what you say. Well, that's not what I meant, but what you said was, and then you tell guys that, hey, we can't take it that way. Or you tell guys that we're not supposed to feel that way in the way we do. But then when we push back the way that I will consistently, it becomes an issue.
What this Negro is illustrating what had happened earlier with, I think there was a woman named Shang. Shang was literally just trying to state the obvious. If you're going to be someone, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, have the idea to want to aim higher as that you possibly can go. If you don't particularly want to be in that position, you can go to another fucking position. That's all she was saying. Just go to another position, and if you like being, let's just say, for example, a plumber, how many black owned facility plumbers, how many black owned plumbers, how many black owned carpenters, how many black owned electricians do we have in this country? I'll wait.
You've made several points tonight about, how, like you and Stray said, you've never taken a loss. It's unrealistic. Every human on life on earth is taking a loss at some point in time. So like that cockiness and that bravado is one of the things that turns black men off about black women. Now, when you said that she's not going to have more options if she opens her horizons, that's just not mathematically true. If she's only dating black men and she adds the 0.3% of white men who will tolerate her, the 0.2% of Mexican men who will tolerate her, and then the 1.5% who will tolerate her, still adds
low percentages, sir.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they're supported by statistics. If you want to go back into those, we can do that as well. But she's not wrong. She is definitely going to broaden her horizons by adding men. The problem is
that's false, because you're not fiercely loyal to black women. You are fiercely loyal to whatever works to your discretion. If a white woman will treat you good, suck you good, fuck you good, feed you good, will pat you on the head like Toby, you will be in that position. If an Asian woman were to be in that position, if you were to put an Asian woman in that position, it'd be the same thing. A black woman, you got to tolerate that mouth, and I don't mind it because I've been married for what, 26, almost 16 years, and yet I've tolerated her. I've known when she's going to speak, how she's going to speak, Each time she calls my name, I just go, okay, I already know. Yeah, look, I'm used to it. I'm so used to it. But that's just how marriage is. That's just how marriages are. And I have no problem with it. Now, if you don't want the mouth, apparently maybe there's something you can do to satisfy that woman without her talking to you. And she won't have to say anything. She'll be more appreciative if you did some work around the house. Just saying.
Black women's marriage rates would be lower. Black women's access to motherhood would be significantly lower, but there's not an argument that you can make that will actually say only cut one way. And I think that we kind of get carried away trying to make these arguments seem like they only apply to one side of the field.
There's no argument. The fact of the matter is, my buddy here, is that men have been making other race women billionaires and millionaires for years. While black women are used to that. Okay? So all I was saying is, statistically, if I open up my horizons like black men have done in the past for years, Shannon Sharp, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan.
You talking about athletes and celebrities?
No, I'm just talking about regular smeggler dudes too.
Those aren't regular smeggler dudes.
Pop, stop. I'll let you talk because you cut me off a minute ago.
I mean, you did go to, sports professionals. You did do that. I'm not gonna lie.
What they're doing is following the pattern, and that's okay if that's what works for them. What you have done is ran to a black woman that doesn't care if a black man dates outside his race. But when I say that I'm opening up my horizon, all of a sudden, it ain't gonna work, and the statistics ain't right. What?
I supported that when you said you opening yours.
Like with a hard R.
I supported the fact that if you open your horizons, it was going to work. I was disagreeing with Straight like that to that point. And I made sure that I articulated it in a way that it would be impossible for a logical person to think that I wasn't agreeing with you. I agree wholeheartedly that if you date outside of your race, you are broadening your horizon.
Your comment was underhanded and demeaning.
The way that you took it, and that's your problem, because that's not how I meant it. That wasn't my intent. I'm responsible for what I say.
No, how you deliver also conveys a message, baby. Most communication is nonverbal. Only 7% of communication is what the words are you say, and the other 93 is composed of nonverbal cues, tone, body language, as such.
It's impossible to tone police me, but Country Cookie, to my point that I was telling you, is that there are several other groups of men you can date from. The problem is that what people think, I can go try to date white men. White men have higher standards for their women than black men.
You said white.
Well, she said that. She said not a black. I covered all the races, but you weren't here for that, so you can't speak to that.
But, I heard you. I'm talking about what she stated earlier. Y'all wanted to signify between black and white, ignoring the myriad of shades in between. No, sir. I'm talking now. And it's cool. I'll be done soon. But what I'm going to say is you're wrong. You're the one that did the micro visual on the white dudes and saying, if you go to white dudes, they ain't going to fuck with you neither, or whoever the fuck said that, because it wasn't you. But at the end of the day, there are an array of people here on this planet, and black men have not been.
Okay, so of the multitude of people on Earth, which one of those men
are
exotic,
not black? So, okay.
Which one of those men are looking for you right now?
Good luck to us.
Of those
but don't be so small-minded to be offended and try to demean someone's option to do something else. No, I'm not listening to you.
We gotta have some order though. Like we gotta have order though. We gotta be respectful of each other.
The way that you present yourself right now, which color group of men you think are checking for you right now?
All of them. I didn't hear what you said, sweetheart. What? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I got an echo.
It's two microphones, and that's it. From the way that you're presenting yourself on this panel, and with the level of couth and decorum that you're either missing or choosing not to, which is fine. Which one of these color groups of men you think are checking for women who behave the way you do?
Oh, well, all the men that I know love the way that I behave, and it's the whole myriad. That's why I wanted to, make that a point, because y'all wanted to go black and white when there's so much in between.
I want you to do me a favor.
The options of it are plentiful. as far as in my yard and what's over here with me.
Once
I
she's
don't know how
finished,
you
because
think I
she
presented my.
First, first and foremost, I do love this Zayuna Lanila character. I do love her strength because she ain't gonna let these bums on the. Secondly, we need to stop nitpicking each other. We really need to stop nitpicking with all this statistic bullshit and all this stuff going on. This is becoming a red pill panel, and I just feel sorry for the females that are on the panel. I really do.
Myself, but I've been very respectful. I have not raised my voice not one time. I might be loud, but I'm not raising my voice. And as far as correcting you on nonverbal cues and communication and the ratios of words to other cues and what the message is you're sending, I did that respectfully as well. So I understand that the black man inside of you doesn't want a black woman inside of me telling him anything,
whatever color they
and you
want.
don't value me. So your assessment of me does not matter in this first 15 seconds of our interaction. I'm a very intelligent person. I was a Mensa fucking genius. I was fucking recruited by MIT, but chose to run track at Louisiana State University. You know nothing about me. But I'm also very funny, very personable. I have lots of friends of all different shades, races, colors, and I take people as individuals. See, this panel shit is stupid to me. Y'all speak in generality, where you're supposed to be taking individuals as they come to you and using your God-given discernment to filter through the bullshit and find your best pathway forward in life. And it is that simple. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But it's that simple. Take individuals as they come and use your discernment, and you will win if your faculties are in place for yourself.
I feel like I'm arguing with Johnny Walker or some type of reposado right now. Because like nothing we're saying right now is logical or reasonable. Like we can all come up here and bloviate and make up shit like, oh, I was recruited by the CIA, but I chose to go run track at the FBI. Like it sounds good, but it doesn't do anything for the conversation. Because again, the way that you're presenting yourself,
it doesn't sound good. It's factual information.
Sounds good.
So
I do have. The way you're presenting yourself, you got to present yourself in a kind manner. Just like these white women do on a daily basis, but you don't seem to do that on a daily basis. So we got to look at you with a fine lens, or what they would call the side eye.
Hold on, Sweeney. We're gonna go.
I didn't want to be carved into some corporate.
Is it me or
fucking coon?
Is she online all the time, like we are?
Who, my sister?
The lady, the one that's up here, who's in the same house as you.
That's
we know
my
y'all
sister.
in the same house. Yeah, is she online all the time?
No, but what did she?
Sweetie has dumbass questions.
What did she say wrong other than facts?
But she right, and hopefully her life reflects what she's talking about.
You saw I disengaged. One of the things that I'm big on is
No, it's okay. They can see my name in credits when they come up. My name is Zayulani Zentidi. I'm the only one on planet Earth. But what I will say is that it's funny that y'all think I was attacking y'all when I was telling someone how intelligent that I know that I am. Like I'm physically on paper a genius. You can't call me dumb. But you wanted to call me disrespectful, and I outlined how I was not disrespectful. And I was saying that people should take individuals as they come to them and use their discernment. Where in any of that is participating in a gender war? I'm trying to smoke wash it. I love my black men. As a matter of fact, we've been partial to y'all for too long. I'm going to say it. My sister don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. If I have a downfall, it's been down for a black man.
What do you mean?
4 of them over 23 years. I was spending money. I was using resources, and I was being disrespected, trying to let somebody lead and use my money on training wheels. So he could feel like
you did the bump. You did the bump.
So in the ending,
you did the bump.
You know what I'm saying? Don't say that we didn't try on our side too, because I hear a lot of hurt when I listen to my sister on these podcasts. I hear a lot of scorn. I hear a lot of, ooh, you black bitches. That's how y'all really feel, and that's okay, because your life experience may have put you that way. But regardless of how I have experienced you black men in the 23 years over 4 of y'all, So I ain't no whole pass around. I gave y'all every chance I could. Excuse me if I move to the side and exalt my exotic. But
see, this is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons. One of the fucking reasons.
I wanted some before I got on, and yes, I was paying attention. We were living already.
And if a man is berating her or saying something crazy to her or getting out of pocket with her, don't say a word to that man. Don't you say a goddamn thing.
I'm not.
We need your help.
That's
we don't need your help. We don't want you. But please believe you me. If I took that same stance and I did that, a man was weird, you would look at me like, hey, why'd you say something? Why'd you do as a man? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to defend her, take her. No. I'm gonna stay in my place. I'm gonna watch that man whoop your ass verbally. And I'm gonna sit back and say nothing.
That would never happen because I know how to cut him off.
Let me finish. I didn't.
Okay, so
no, hold on. Let me finish. It's not my place to tell another grown ass man what to do. How to operate. You're correct, and I'm gonna leave it at that, fellas. Just like I said.
Yo, Hank. Based on what she just said, I don't think she knew. I think I got what she was trying to say. But if she's saying that her job is not to correct another woman, then, based on our last conversation, brother, when I said that we should defend women or look out for them, based on what she just said, you got it, brother. You're right. You were right from the last time we spoke. She's saying she's not responsible for other women in terms of their behavior. Men are not going to be responsible for other men's behaviors. She got it.
See what I mean? It's tag. It's tag. You're it. That's all we're doing is playing tag. Tag. You're it. You did this to me. Tag. You're it. Now I get to do this back to you. Tag. You're it. We're little children. We're just children, and it's just a little demonstration. And if we're ever going to get back to a place of power, if we're going to get back to a place of responsibility, responsibility comes a long way, doesn't it? Now, let's get into a little bit of more positive sync. Let's get into a little bit more of a positive sequence, if you will. What's this Juneteenth shit?
Juneteenth is about to be co-opted this year. It's already being co-opted now. Somebody just sent me a flyer for Juneteenth, and everybody speaking is white. You're done, because you need the government to approve everything you do. Once the government starts celebrating Kwanzaa in the White House, it allows everybody to participate. They kill it. Dr. King birthday. They turned that into a damn cleanup day so the government workers can take a day off and let you do the cleaning. How did Dr. King birthday became a clean up the streets day? I thought Dr. King died for economic justice. I thought Dr. King died for racial equality. How did his birthday become a damn cleanup day? The Asian bill was just for Asians. And the Native American bill was just for Native Americans. And the money for the Ukrainians was just for the Ukrainians. And the money for the Afghanis was just, but it's okay to do something for any other group exclusively. Because we made it that way. We made it comfortable for the government to take you for granted. You know why? Because you are psychologically homeless people. You are neurotic about your Americanism. And you would rather be called an American than be treated with
It's called social immigration.
respect. That's why on July 4th, you niggas gonna be out here cooking hot dogs and shit out here. July 4th, 1776, our ancestors was in the field picking cotton. Cotton picking Negroes, and you out here celebrating Thomas Jefferson's freedom. You out here celebrating Alexander Hamilton's freedom. You out here celebrating George Washington's freedom. What's wrong with you? Benjamin Franklin's freedom. Slave owners. You celebrating their freedom from Britain, but you were still their damn slave. Now, if that's not the definition of a fool, I don't know what is. Why did Joe Biden make Juneteenth a federal holiday?
Good question.
You know why? Because Negroes love empty symbolic victories.
They even had a book out for it. The book, I was about 10 clicks away from grabbing that book. I was like, wait a minute. They create all these white holidays. And then all of a sudden I see these white folks with the African shin guards on, or whatever you call them. I see white folks just chilling. It's just like, what the f-? And then they got the hats on and shit. I forgot what they were called. God dang it. I'll think of it in a minute. But they were trying to act like Africans, and it's like it's an African holiday, a one-day holiday, Juneteenth, a one-day holiday. Wow. But you have Donald Trump taking away Black History Month, which is kind of a good thing. You know why? Because we already know our history. We don't need to hear, even though I'm not shitting on them, but even though we don't need to hear the same old Martin Luther King speeches, the same old Malcolm X speeches, we don't need to hear all that. We don't even know about Rosa Parks. We know about Rosa Parks. What about the real true Black history? Right? What about the Prince Lumumba? What about the Nat Turner? They're afraid to teach Nat Turner in classes. I will be sitting my children down and telling them stories about Nat Turner. I had my oldest daughter sit right next to me and watch Birth of a Nation. Nate Parker's version, not the old version, which I should have done that. That's my fault. I shouldn't have done that. But she seen Nate Parker's version of it, and it was pretty damn good. She was asking me questions. She was engaging. And right now we just had a debate on why we owe reparations. And I told her the reason why. But let me continue.
He didn't make Juneteenth a holiday because he cared about black folks. He made Juneteenth a federal holiday to kill Juneteenth. They made Dr. King's birthday a federal holiday to kill Dr. King's legacy. They celebrate Kwanzaa at the White House to kill the energy of Kwanzaa. They make Black History Month a nationally recognized celebration to kill the power of it. Do you remember growing up and Black History Month was so powerful? 28 days, there was 28 activities. Every library, every channel. When Black History Month came from February 1st to the 28th, there was 10 things going on in San Diego at the same time. Back in the 70s and 80s. But once the government put it on a damn stamp, and white folks started celebrating with you. It took all the power and respect out of it. Kwanzaa, remember when Kwanzaa was the biggest thing around? 7 nights of Kwanzaa, the Kwanzaa Bazaar, the Kwanzaa lecture, the Kwanzaa this, the Kwanzaa that. You can hardly find Kwanzaa now the last week of December. Once the government starts celebrating Kwanzaa in the White House, it allows everybody to participate. They kill it. Dr. King's birthday. They turned that into a damn cleanup day. So the government workers can take a day off and let you do the cleaning. How did Dr. King's birthday become a clean up the streets day? I thought Dr. King died for economic justice. I thought Dr. King died for racial equality. How did his birthday become a damn cleanup day? And now Juneteenth. You know how Biden made Juneteenth a holiday? To kill it. Because it's the only thing left that's still authentically black that white folks haven't corrupted. I've been looking around for the Juneteenth holidays. I said, I'm gonna speak at a Juneteenth, and I'm calling around. Is that Juneteenth run by bourgeoisies, white folks, or is that a grassroots Juneteenth? Nah, Doc, that's Walmart. I'll call the next city. Who's running your Juneteenth? Nah, Doc, that's Mercedes-Benz. Everywhere I go, the Juneteenth is being sponsored by white power. You can hardly find an organically grassroots Juneteenth left because everybody wants the free money. See, black folks don't have nothing sacred. I want you to listen to me. When I say we have nothing sacred, I'm asking you a real simple question. Can you name me a holiday, a religion, a festival, an institution, a cemetery, a building, a practice, a celebration that nobody can exploit, sell, get paid off, or participate in except black folks? There's nothing sacred in black America. African spirituality, white folks is all in it. Go to New Orleans. You walk down in the French Quarter to the voodoo shops, there's all white folks in there selling you that damn stuff. How you let white folks in voodoo? John Dessalines turning in his grave. White folks is now the voodoo masters. What kind of shit? Dr. King's birthday, that's integrated. And then people mock us and we don't even realize it. Black History Month, everybody working at McDonald's got on their damn Kwanzaa hat. Burger King, Black History Month. Red, black, and green all over the place. They don't do that with Hanukkah with the Jews. They don't do that. The only people, cultural relics and holidays and symbols you can play with is black folks because you let other people participate. All due respect to Dr. Malana Karinga. But when Dr. Karinga said non-Africans can participate in Kwanzaa, but they can't lead it, worse than he could have done. Because for a while, it was all black. And it kept putting pressure, so he adjusted it and said, you can participate in Kwanzaa. If you're not black, you just can't lead it. And now, you go to some Kwanzaa celebrations, there's more white folks than black folks. Juneteenth is about to be co-opted this year. It's already being co-opted now. Somebody just sent me a flyer for a Juneteenth, and everybody speaking is white. You're done! Because you need the government to approve everything you do. You need them to put their stamp on you because of your low self-esteem. I remember I heard Malcolm's daughter, Dr. Tala Shabazz, speak when I was in high school. And somebody asked her, are you upset that your father's birthday is not a federal holiday? This is what they asked the Tala Shabazz. And you know what Malcolm's eldest daughter said? She said, why do you need the white power structure to make my father's birthday a federal holiday in order for you to honor him on his birthday?
Ooh. Ooh. Shay. Shay. Well, I spotted Brother Umar, as I said before, over there by the Blacks expose. And this is what I will be covering, of course.
Umar. Hey, yo.
Let me go back. People saying that this is fake. People saying that this shit was fake. Like the jealousy of certain niggas. And I ain't gonna even mention one particular Negro that just shit's getting old. Shit's getting old real quick. I mean, he's just doing Umar content just to be doing Umar content. But it's starting to fade. People are literally getting tired of him right now. Like, literally getting tired of him. I'm not gonna even say his name. I'm not gonna even say his name because I don't have the energy for it right now. But if you thinking in my mind in the past tense, who I've been saying, you already know who he is. He is too old, too dumb, and too broke. And this is the reason why he needs Dr. Umar, because of the money that he's getting, because of the content that he's doing. Damn shame. After all these years, 19 years, wow.
Black man, test. Hey yo, Black Queens forever. Make some noise. Dr. Umar, I want to take a minute. We, as a people, have to unite around the concept of rebirthing Black love. Black love tonight. Make love for Black love tonight. Make some noise for Black out here. We have to stop getting on the internet, expressing disagreement and a lack of support for Black women. Nobody else does that but us. Nobody else does that but us. Lift them up, because our community goes no higher than our honor. She is no integrity. And if you're a beautiful queen, acting less than her best, you still honor her. Because you're not honoring misconduct, you're honoring the God that lives inside her. And for my
niggas will be calling him pandering all damn day. But the moment that you start being with a white woman, you pander to that bitch as much as you can. Oh, mammy, oh, mammy, I've never experienced anyone like you in my life. Mammy. Nigga, please.
Black queens, I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing. Stay off the internet disrespecting Black men. We all we got. And if our children don't see us showing a positive example of what Black on love means, they won't want Black on Black love. So let's show them what it means to be Black and proud, but Black and in love. 3 quick points and I'm leaving. I'm a psychologist, so I gotta say this about our children. Stop with the special ed evaluations. Stop with the ADHD evaluation. Stop with the Ritalin medication, the Adderall medication, the Cycler. Our children don't need drugs, they need love and parents who spend time with them. That's number one. Number two, every night in your house should be a quiet hour where everybody reads. Grandma reads, grandpa reads, mom, dad, son, daughter, because our illiteracy rates in the Black community are low. A lot of our people can't read. And I'm telling you now, if your son or daughter can't read on grade level and they got a video game system in the home, if they can't read on grade level, but they got a tablet in the home, if they can't read on grade level, but they got a cell phone and Air Jordans in the home, then you're not doing your job. Because the number one job of a Black parent in America is to teach Black children discipline. And let me give you Dr. Umar's definition of discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what you don't want to do when it has to be done, whether you like it or not. Make sure your child has that. Third and final point for tonight. Every Black parent in America is a homeschooling Black parent. Your child goes to public school, you still a homeschool parent. They go to charter school, you still a homeschool parent. If you're not taking them to the public library once a month, you're not on your job. If you're not taking them to the black bookstore once a month, you're not on your job. If they're not going to a black museum to learn knowledge yourself, you are not on your job. Understand this. If a black child has a teacher that cares and a parent that doesn't, they will still make it. If they have a parent that cares and a teacher that doesn't, they will still make it. If they have a parent that cares and a teacher that cares, they must make it. And if they have a teacher who don't care and a parent who couldn't care less, they can never make it. We are the babies are us. Black men for black women for black men, all black everything, black queens forever. Black love, Columbus, I love you, black power. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Brother, Umar, give it up for it, y'all. Yeah.
All the day long, I think Farrell Munch was there. And then I saw you in New York, and then we went to Electric Ladyland. Electric Ladyland is a studio that Jimi Hendrix built in the 60s. It's got like 5 floors. On every floor, D'Angelo was in the basement. The Roots was on the ground floor. Mose had a session going. Badu had a session going. And all the way in the worst studio on the top floor, that was Kweli's studio. But that's where all the fun was. On Common had a session going, and Jay Dilla had a session going. And boy, let me tell you something. That was the first time I ever got to see a hip-hop alchemist cook. On every floor of that building that Jimi Hendrix built, I saw the future of hip-hop. This was before Chappelle's Show. When I did music on Chappelle's Show, no music artist would mess with me. But everybody who rocked in that building was the whole first season of the show, and subsequently, with the addition of Kanye and the Fugees, we was the Block Party, which again, started in Ohio. This year is the 20th anniversary of the Block Party. Did you remember that? We all still friends. Thank God we're all doing well, and even Kanye, he's okay. Kweli was like, death to all Nazis. I was like, well, not all, right?
African Liberation Day. That's right. Where are my Africans at on African Liberation Day? We will never forget Kwame Nkrumah. We will never forget Patrice Lumumba. We will never forget Sekou Touré. We will never forget Robert Sobukwe. We will never forget Amilcar Cabral. We will never forget His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. We will never forget Empress Taitu, Empress Zaiditu. We will never forget Shaka Kasensa Kakona Zulu. We will never forget Chris Hani. We will never forget Steve Biko. We will never forget Maurice Bishop. Of course, we can't forget Emperor Jean-Jacques Dessalines, or Toussaint Louverture, or Henry Christophe, or Bookman, or Macandal, or Cecile Fataman. We can't forget Prada, Denmark, Vizian Chong, Hula and Corpata, my Guadalupean Africans. We can't forget Mother Solitude and Luz del Gras and General Inyas. Oh, yes. My Africans.
Is what it is. Now, I will do the last part of the segment, but I'm going to wait until Wednesday. I'm going to wait until Wednesday, but watch the shorts. Watch the shorts, because what I'm going to be saying might be some controversy behind it, but it's well needed. Well needed. All right. I was gonna do the whole silly Lily shit tonight, but tonight is not one of those nights. because it's just giving energy to somebody that doesn't need it. But if we're going to be real serious about moving forward without the interference or the infiltration of certain people, if we're going to move forward without all the nonsensical nonsense going on, we must first just trim. First, we got to trim some fat. What up, Mom? We got to trim some fat. And the first fat we must trim is the people who constantly disrespect our women. The second thing, we must, once we hear, let's just face facts. Number one, we've heard all the negative comments, the negative invitation, the N words, the monkeys, and we've heard all that. We don't care for none of that. But for this generation, not knowing, because I know they don't know. I know they don't know. I don't know they don't know even know where that word comes from. I know they don't know. But just in case they do, you simply just get it out your mind. Even though we know the pain and the hurt and the suffering, we know where it all stems from. We know where it all stems from. We completely move forward until they want to like put their money where their mouth is, of course. Because apparently my stance is my stance. They can say anything they want. Since they feel so liberated to not say, oh, we can't say anything we want. It's not fair. White people are not going to take it anymore. When did we ever stop you from saying the word that you gave to us? When did we ever stop it? Oh, it was the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons of the world. I get it. Yeah. Whatever. You can say whatever you want. You can say the N word if you like. It's like I said. Don't be mad. Don't complain when that word that you're using is a consequence to your actions. Right? Don't be surprised if you end up on the ground somehow mysteriously butt naked with your jaw broke or worse. I didn't come up with this. This is on y'all, but you're mad because literally you can't say. I mean, of course, you got this silly Lily scumbag that's on X right now because she has a platform due to the fact that Elon Musk don't give a shit, and that's fine. That's fine. Even though he's losing a whole bunch of money on Tesla, I could give a less of a shit about that. We just got to move forward. We just got to learn how to move forward with things and just be your own person, right? And with that being said, being organized with certain people, I want to bring up a specialist in the coming months, and I want to bring back the brother Nathan Daly. I want to bring back the brother Nathan Daly, and I also want to bring back the brother that I had. I forgot what the brother's name was. The other cop. I want to bring him back up too, because literally, white folks are emboldened to get away with any and everything. So we got to be prepared to move, and we got to prepare to protect ourselves. This is the natural order of things. I am not going to allow any more of this nonsensical thing. Even if I have one person, or if I'm just talking to myself, that's just fine. I refuse to go. I'm going to change my algorithm, is what I'm just trying to tell you. I'm going to change my algorithm from here on in. All right. I'm used to it. I'm used to change. I'm used to doing a couple changes here and there. I get it. It's because of Shish Trish that when I read her email, I now know the formula of how to change how I present things. It all starts with me. I have to present things in a more positive manner. It's all about how men feel about women and all that. I'm not doing that anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the possibly women who are tired of being in that algorithm, and I'm going to put them over here. Vaughn, you're part of it, bro. You are a part of it. Hammer, any and everybody is welcome. I want to change. I want to change the algorithm. I want to change this whole formula. We-On-Loc is all about balance. What these people are doing, the peeps of the world, I just don't believe that they're not being fair. It's the same old shit each and every single year, right? You're telling women what they shouldn't be doing and what they should be doing, and you're giving all these unrealistic statistics which aren't visible. You probably have some drunk white man or some mad black woman cooking up these statistics and putting them online for you to read. I don't buy it. So from here on in, I'm going to start changing my algorithm. But you will still see the same old me. When it comes to white folks that are tired and they're getting black fatigued and all this other shit, then I shouldn't have to hear not one thing about black people in your chats or, online. I shouldn't have to hear not one single, not even Kanye West. I'm gonna put Kanye West in the coon category. Yeah, I have to. I have to. I have to. I have to put them in there. I have to put them in there, man. I have to put. Dave Chappelle is gonna have to forgive me because I'm gonna have to put them in there. I'm gonna have to put them in there. So Silly Lily is gonna have to wait until Wednesday before I cook her little white self. It after looking back at it, it doesn't bother me as much because she doesn't have a voice. And I realize now that other people, even though it's possibly been one time that they made a video about her, I was gonna make my second one and then let it be that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do it because she doesn't affect me. She doesn't affect me not one bit. Now, if I were to see her in person, I probably would have spit in the bitch's face. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. This is just who I would. My father didn't raise no punk. My father didn't raise no punk to have some white supremacist ruining my day, or better yet, talk down to a plethora of my people as if we had want anything to do with you. It's not the case. You are a disgrace, and you should put on that hat, that white hat, that is. Myron Gaines, why do we pay attention to this dude? Why we pay so much attention? He keeps saying the same stuff. Why do we want that much attention? Is it worth it? Do y'all get cash apps? Y'all get constantly cash apps when y'all do that. It's not a. Let me tell you something right now. YouTube is not worth it. Financial gaining finances from this thing. It's not even worth it. You're gonna take some odd days if you're not a lead attorney. If you're not a lead attorney, if you're not these things, lead attorney gets buku money, but 30% off the top gets taken out. But he's still getting money because of y'all. Y'all support the lead attorney, right? At one point in time, it was Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels was getting money. Now who get money? The angry man. Nobody paying attention to that boy. Nobody pays attention, but he's getting paid. He's doing his thing, but I'm learning now. I'm learning as I go along, and hopefully things will change. If not, we can always do something else. We can't let these people and these things of the algorithm, we can't let it affect. It's not going to affect me, because from here on in, I'm just going to move on. And if I don't get people to join in, it's like, that's just fine. I'll just continue to learn how to grow some other way. But I can't be a part of this thing anymore, because what you're doing, and I'm gonna have to let the people know who I support, what you're doing, it's not helping anyone. You're arguing back and forth over some shit that we already know. Okay, we were piss poor. We were from poverty. We went from poverty to drugs to yada yada yada. We get it. We all know about Jim Crow, which is important to know about our history from back then, from Jim Crow to Willie Lynch to redlining to how we prospered from, after, what was it, 1865. We get all of it. We get all of that. All right. We teach it to our children now. And we teach with that how to move forward in life. We teach that to our children, how we can prosper for. First of all, you gotta go to school. You gotta go to school even though you don't want to. Because, can I tell you the truth? Most of these white kids don't have to go to school. What do you mean they don't have to go to school? We-On-Loc? What are you talking about? I'm gonna say it again for the dumb, slow kids, for the slow people in the room. Most of these white kids, maybe I should add this along. Most of these white kids who are prosperous don't have to go to school. What if that were to happen with us? If the tables would turn, y'all should go see The White Man's Burden. Y'all should go see The White Man's Burden with John Travolta. If all the roles were reversed, don't you think we would be homeschooling our children right about now? And then going to our rich community centers, whites can't be included in. We go to our rich communities and we keep, and our children's children prosper. And we can be labeled the racist. We can definitely be labeled racist because we are prospering for what is ours. People say that Abraham Taribe is racist because he's willing to take the farmlands back. You mean the farmlands that you have stolen from us? You talking about the ones that stolen from us? Julian came with the Julian. I don't know Julian Mamamba. I have to remember these names. He said it perfectly. It's like, how the fuck do I credited something to you that you took from me? I'm just giving it. I'm just taking it right back. You ain't talking about I'll give you a ride. I wouldn't give white people a ride. A ride where? A ride where? Certain people just need to learn how to leave us alone. Just leave us alone. If you feel threatened by us, which is kind of it's funny in itself. If you feel threatened by us, black folk, just leave us be. That's the only thing I can think of. Feeling threatened by black folks? Us? You? You're tired of black people? Even black people are tired of black people. That's amazing. Because they want to belong. We don't have to deal with those people. I know about the officer tantrums and whatever. If it's something that affects me, I may report on it. But I know how this works now. I know how this works. So I'm going to be going to work on a couple of things. Hopefully, we're going to get this show on the road. And we're going to have some people on here. You know, I'm still supporting Auntie. That's my cousin and them. I'm gonna still support Brownie. She should be at a Bow Wow right now. I'm gonna still support. I'm gonna support my girl. I'm gonna support Mahogany Roots. I'm all over the place. I'm gonna support Mahogany. You know that. Come on. And if somehow he's still out there, I know he's not blocked. L Nixon, you always welcome here, bro. And I see my boy Uda Block. Shouts out to my nigga Uda Block, bro. You doing a fabulous job. Keep up the good work, bro. Keep up the good work. Pretty soon, we all gonna be back together as a happy family. And I definitely had to give credit where credit is due. If it wasn't for this certain individual, well, I will be named nameless. Wouldn't be named nameless around here. The wannabe the wannabe black girl white girl who want to be black so bad. Empress Janet. Because of you, I would have never met Uda. So I had to give you credit for it. But I don't want your punk ass break. Let me stop. So, that being said, I love the people who are supporting, the people who came in to the chat. My condolences to Tanya, who's going through a phase right now with family members. Definitely my condolences. My prayers go out to you. My prayers go out to the family of Sade Robinson. And we will go out with this.
Say goodbye to yesterday. I don't know where to go. It's going to lead. All I know and what we've been through. If we get to see tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the wait. It's so hard say goodbye to yesterday.